Hello, and welcome to another exciting and adventurous session of Music Theory for Worship.
Exciting and adventurous is the right word.
I mean, that hardly describes it, really.
2 words, really.
But
yeah.
that's at least on the right track to what we'll be doing.
You remember how we talked about stable and unstable notes? Of course you do.
Of course I do.
Of course, yes. What is music theory? Mm-hmm.
The theory of what makes music work.
And all of Western music can really be explained by saying it's unstable notes going to stable notes. And we said that the most unstable notes were 7 and 4.
We did.
And they're only half a step away from resolving.
Mm-hmm.
2 and 6 are not as unstable because they're a whole step away from resolving.
Yeah.
They're okay.
It's like the next ring out.
So let's just include that next ring out and consider all of those to be stable tones. Now, if we do that, what do we have as stable tones?
Stable tones, and we have 1, 2, 3, 5, 6.
There you go.
And 8, which is 1.
1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. That's 5 different notes. They have a name for that. It's a special kind of scale that they call the pentatonic scale.
Penta 5.
Pentatonic scale. Those are the strong scale degrees. You can write a melody with a pentatonic scale and almost harmonize it with anything because it doesn't have those really icky half steps in there. Half steps are pretty dissonant, and so I have this nice... As a matter of fact, if I do that, it sort of sounds like wind chimes.
Very nice. Kind of the same thing we briefly talked about with a few of those hymns, such as Come Thou Fount. There were a couple others we suggested.
Yeah, so if you use those safe tones, like, man, you've got a really easy harmonization to do. So a lot of songs could be explained as being, when you boil them right down to the melody, it's 3 blind mice. Scale degree 3, 2, 1. And maybe then you go 5, 3, 2, 1. Remember that? That's all pentatonic. Here's a famous pentatonic tune. Starts on scale degree 5. Part of what's cool about pentatonic pitches is they could all be played on the black keys of the piano. So you could find, you just have to know where to start. So pentatonic scale, Amazing Grace. I feel like I'm selling some sort of
Well, I mean,
record or something like that. Like, you know, the best hits of the pentatonic scale. Somebody's at the door. I have to answer it.
Well, that was actually a student who came by, and they were just wanting to know about the pentatonic scale.
Of all things, asking, what tunes could I play using a pentatonic scale? And what value is there in playing a pentatonic scale?
What are the odds of that?
Let me just tell you what I told him. Here's a song that you could play using all the pentatonic scale that you already know. Over the mountains and the sea, your river runs with love for me, and I will open up my heart and let the healer set me free. Now, scale degrees, that was all 5, 3, 2, 1. Those are good, strong scale degrees, right? So if we use those strong scale degrees, 5, 3, 2, 1. Watch this. You can use almost any chord progression underneath it. Okay.
True.
So Daniel, I'm gonna play it, and you call out what the chords are as we're going. Okay. Here we go. Over the mountains and the sea, your river runs with love for me, and I will open up my heart, let the healer set me free. Now that's the loop that Matt Redman wrote it. When Sonic Flood recorded it, they used a whole different loop.
Ho
It
ho.
went like this. Over the mountains and the sea, your river runs with love for me, and I will open up my heart and let the heathen set me free. Okay, now if you line those up, we started with a tonic chord on both, but then the two different options were I could use a 2 chord or a 5 chord. I could use a 4 chord or a 6 chord, and I could use a 5 chord or a 4 chord. Well, that's very different options.
That's
there,
true.
Especially the 4 versus the 5. But either one works. Why?
Because the scale degrees that we're singing on are all strong.
They're strong. We don't have any of those half steps. Now, if you had half steps, you'd have problems with the chords. But as it is, you can pretty much use any chord. Let's just try any chord.
All right.
You sing, I'll play.
Okay. Over the mountains and the sea, your river runs with love for me, and I will open up my heart and let the healer set me free. I'm happy to be in the truth, and I will daily lift my hands, for I will always sing of when your love came down.
I just went up the scale and then jumped around. It really didn't matter.
You know, I
much,
could have
did it?
sang that melody forever.
Forever and ever and ever and ever. So, the pentatonic scale. If you're writing a worship song, try to use the degrees of the pentatonic scale. It not only helps it to have that sort of folk sound that we talked about before, but it enables you to have more variety of the chords that you choose to underlie that melody, because you've got good strong tones. So what have we learned today?
Strong tones. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. This is 6 in sign language.
And 7 and 4 are still quite dissonant because
of the
they're
half step.
a half step away. So we avoid those. So we used to say 1, 3, and 5. 1, 5, and 3 are the stable ones. But 2 and 6
are
not
acceptable.
all that unstable. So we just draw our dotted line over on the other side of it, and we say that still creates a good strong melody.
More or less, they're permissible, we could say.
All things are permissible, but not all things are profitable.
And that's what we found out today, according to the pentatonic scale. Though it seemed to be fairly profitable. Right.
I think so. We're now rambling. You might have noticed. We're going to stop now.